I met a young pastor once, and very early in the morning. I had driven about 3 hours to come to this place where we were to meet, and it was there at a restaurant. And he came and he got in my car, and the sun was just starting to come up. We sat in that car, took a little break to go in, eat a meal a couple times, come back out. All day long, watched the sun go down. I talked to this young man, and he's having a tough time at his church. A lot of voices were coming his way. A lot of discontentment. And I sought my best to explain to him that life is going to have its ups and downs. And there are going to be those who are going to voice opposition. And you have to take it all. And you have to consider it in the realm of the leadership of the Holy Spirit. In other words, what's God saying to you? There are times when you just have to stand. There are times when you need to listen. There are times when you need to pay attention to what people are saying. But there should never be a time where you allow yourself to be totally controlled by any other individual other than the voice and the presence of the Holy Spirit. And that's something that you have to grow into. And as you're out there listening and you're a young minister, listen to the old preacher here. I've been doing this for a long, long time. My hair turned white and gray, and in other words, I'm not young anymore. But I've walked a lot of miles. I've pastored a lot of people. I've stood beside many a bedside. And I've learned that there's only one way to do this, and that's to grow your relationship with the true and the living God. Because any other way, in other words, if you're allowing humans to be the ones that are charting your path, then you're missing the whole point of what God is doing through your life and your ministry, because God has called a pastor to love people, to win people. But our ultimate objective is to shepherd people to heaven. And as God would lead and God would direct, we have to hear that voice. Well, I started talking yesterday on the broadcast in the Gospel of Mark. And how did Jesus do this? I mean, the opposition was so strong and so intense that when you begin to read it, it is quite astounding. And there were those, we know them, scribes, Pharisees, Sadducees. They were always there. And they always had an opinion. And they were always asking these questions that were designed to disrupt. And, well, we're in chapter number 3 of the Gospel of Mark. And I read about a man who was sick of the palsy. And Jesus just said to that man, in the voice of all of the opposition, he said, just stretch out your hand. Just stretch out your hand. And that was a decision that man had to make, whether he would trust Jesus and just stretch out his hand, or whether he would listen to all the voices around him, and he chose to let Jesus touch him. This is Pastor Jack King with the Gospel on the radio broadcast.